Rebuilding this Honda CB250 has been somewhat of a super nightmare rather than a super dream I was hoping it to be.
When this bike popped up on eBay for less than £1,000 and I see all that rust, the top box, the tax disc and then the number plate with Rye motorcycle stamped on it, I just couldn't resist.
I remember when these come out and we all thought, oh yeah, they're boring and modern.
Yeah. So £800 later, it was in my van and back to the workshop. For a laugh, I tried to see if it would start. Then I got to work and started to pull the bike apart, and this is where I faced a number of challenges. The worst part had to be trying to remove the very last head bolt.
As you can imagine, a bike that was last ridden in 1986 wasn't exactly going to come apart very easily, was it?
There was a lot we went through to eventually get to this point.
And as you can see, we're not too far from completion, and we're going to do just that in this upload. And then by the end, we'll be taking this Honda CB250 on its very first road ride. And so to be sure that I can ride this bike a little later, this is where I'm very lucky to be collaborating with Bikeshaw. Bikeshaw has kindly insured me on my Honda CB250.
You see, Bikeshaw can cover you on all sorts of bikes, from standard through to the unusual circumstances.
Bikeshaw can insure the individual and tailor the quotes to the individual's needs.
They were perfect when it came to insuring my last rebuild, and they also offer multi-bike policies too.
Bikeshaw has been perfect when it comes to insuring my rebuilt motorcycles on this channel, so I cannot wait until I can finally ride this bike knowing that Bikeshaw has me well covered. I highly recommend you give Bikeshaw a call to see what they can do for you. Though in the meantime, how about you sit back, relax, as we finally complete this Honda CB250. Thank you, Bikeshaw. Now you might have noticed the carburetor's missing. There's good reason for that. Of course, we had the bike running in the previous upload. Go for it. Wow. It actually started. So what is going on? Well, basically, let me tell you, after that first start happened, I tried to start the bike again off of camera and it refused to start. So I took the carburetors off for what must be the 5th time now. Let me tell you, I've been having a bit of a mare trying to set the float heights. And what I discovered when I removed the carbs and I removed the float bowls was there is essentially fuel starvation. There was no fuel in the carbs. Annoying. So now I've got them back off the bike again. They're doing my head in. Really doing my head in. And right now, at the beginning of this video, I don't fancy getting into these carbs to try and sort them. I'd rather get on other things first, and then we'll come back to these carbs when I can be bothered. So instead, I'm gonna focus on this brake caliper, and I'm gonna finally remove this very stubborn brake caliper piston. So to get that brake piston out, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna bleed the caliper. Obviously, when I remove all of the air, there'll be enough pressure to force that piston out.
So I hooked up the master cylinder to the caliper, added some brake fluid, and then what should have been a straightforward bleed using this pump to speed things up actually wasn't a straightforward job.
Now listen, if I tell you I've been at this brake caliper for the best part of 10 hours, you're probably going to think I'm over-exaggerating. But no, I'm telling the God's honest truth. Basically, I've had to remove the caliper from the bike and I've had to put it in my vise. And I've basically been trying to bench bleed the damn thing. What I've been doing is effectively reverse bleeding the system. And it is so tedious, also extremely messy too. But after 10 hours, I've got some pressure in the master cylinder. Now I will show you in this video how I reverse bleed because of course, once I've finished with the caliper and it's all ready to go back together again, I'm gonna have to fit it to the bike for the first ride. Let's see if I can now move that brake caliper piston, finally. Here we go then. Oh, we've got movement. It's moving. Oh, look at it. That's beautiful to see. That is... Hey! Oh.
I was so happy to see that the caliper looked in surprisingly good condition, because once I remove the old rubber seal, it should clean up nicely. I also now need to remove these old brake caliper pins. The Dremel is perfect for this. Now I can drill a small hole into the pin using my pillar drill. This allows me to use a punch, which centres because of the hole I drilled. Proper rusty. Now it's into the sandblaster.
So there we go, sandblasted caliper, all of the corrosion, all of the crud, all of that rust, it's all been removed. Oh, and before I go ahead and paint this caliper, I've just put the old piston in place to prevent any paint going down places it shouldn't be going down. What do you reckon to that brake caliper then? Did I tell you I'm a beginner?
But yes, some of you may not realise I am indeed a beginner. What with my workshop and what I am achieving on this channel, you may assume otherwise. I have to make sure to mention this as I have many new viewers, and at times, some people get very mad in the comment section. Though I always welcome your advice, so if you notice anything I could do better, then please be sure to let me know in the comment section. I'm always trying to improve. Maybe you can let me know what you think to this brake caliper and master cylinder.
Now the next little issue I've got to solve is the clutch. And I'll demonstrate to you what is going on. So, if I engage the clutch, I pull the lever, I let go of the lever, clutch doesn't return. Where it's been sat for 38 years, I think the springs, yeah, no good. I'm hoping that if I replace the clutch springs, we should solve the issue.
So let's whip the clutch cover off.
Now if we look closely, we can see that the springs are certainly compressed. Though interesting observation, we have 4 springs by the looks of things, but the replacement springs I've got 6.
As I remove the clutch spring bolts, I'm sure to undo them as evenly as possible so as not to put undue stress on the bolts or friction plates.
I was hoping that it'd only be the springs that are at fault, but I think it's more than that. I think the clutch plates need replacing because I cannot spin it.
But before I can do that, it looks like I need a special lock nut socket, so I'll have to come back to this.
Now then, let's reverse bleed this brake master cylinder. As you can see, it's currently sat higher than the reservoir. Now, of course, what's going to happen is as I feed this brake caliper, the hydraulic fluid should travel down the line into the reservoir, and any air should travel the opposite direction. Any air should come out this way. So as I'm pumping the brake, I'm hoping the fluid will fill up the reservoir, but at the same time, the air will want to come out this way. And I believe this method is a lot quicker from what I've learned. So let's give it a shot.
I add some brake fluid to the caliper end first, and then the reservoir. And here you can see as I pump the brake lever, the air will naturally want to rise. So when I undo the bleed nipple, out pops air.
Now then, these are times when I'm in a rebuild and I think I just can't be bothered. I've been here for 4 hours trying to bleed this front brake. It's not bleeding. And I think that the master cylinder is shot. And I just don't understand. Like, you get so close to the end, and I've spent probably 15 hours on this front brake. I've bled it both sides, everything's torqued up, the banjo bolt's torqued up. I've removed so much air, and also the piston in this master cylinder, it's not returning to where it needs to be. So the brake lever, it needs to come back here, and it just doesn't. Look, shot, honestly, shot. Do you know, looking at that bike and thinking I'm going to be riding it a bit later in this upload, what's the time? I feel like I'm a million miles away from getting that bike ready to ride. Times like this where I just want to give up. I cannot be bothered. That front brake master cylinder, I don't trust it. If I was to bleed it eventually, it might work temporarily, I don't know. And I don't want to be riding that bike, especially with my girlfriend on the back, because that will be another upload. What do I do? Do I give up? Or do I crack on? Because right now I just want to go home. Still got to sort the carburetor out as well. Oh. I don't know. Why do I do it, huh? Why do I do it?
You know, it's important I share with you the highs with the lows. This is what separates me from other motorcycle rebuild channels. I show everything and own it. Now let me tell you, when you've spent hundreds of hours and countless late nights and weekends, you do get close to giving up. But not me. I never quit. I refuse to quit. And this bike must be ridden in this upload. So let's get to work. Because at the end of the day, the real satisfaction comes from overcoming those breaking points. It's in these moments that I dig deeper. Every setback for me is a lesson. Every frustration a chance to push my limits. Honestly, this is part of the process. Things don't always go smoothly. Parts don't fit right. Something's always off. There's always a last minute issue you didn't see coming. But that's what a real rebuild is. It's about dealing with the unexpected, adjusting on the fly, and knowing that sometimes no matter how much planning you do, it's going to take longer than you thought. That's just how it is. It's frustrating, but it's also what makes finishing so rewarding. Every obstacle will be part of the story, and that's what makes it real. Though here I stood again, as I realised I now needed to take on the next time-consuming obstacle. I needed to spray paint the fairing, and so with the stickers removed, I prepped the parts using my air sander. By the way, this is also the first time I've spray painted anything with a spray painting gun. As the primer was drying, I came back to this clutch. It was seized. When I pulled the pressure plate off, you could see they were in a terrible way. Here was a brand new set of replacement friction plates and steel plates. As for the carbs, well, with the float height set correctly to spec, they would still leak from the overflow. The reason I was now getting fuel starvation was from the over adjustment of the float height to stop the leaks. So I cleaned the float valve seats with metal polish and a cotton bud and put the float heights back to spec. Now back to the spray painting. I wet sanded the primer using a 600 grit and worked my way up to 1000 grit. And then applied a 2K paint called Colma Blue.
And so, here we are, and in the persistence to keep going on, I hope that I'm going to be proof that dedication always wins in the end, because what I'm about to show you is a 1981 Bikes of Rye rebuilt Honda CB250 Super Dream. Check this out. So, what do you reckon then? Absolutely incredible, isn't it? How have we got to this point in the rebuild? Let me run around here, turn the ignition on, and bit of choke. More choke. Oh, I need to turn the fuel on too. He's warming up, I guess. Right, let's get a leg over. So I think this is a shakedown ride. I don't think it's going to be perfect this first ride, I'll admit. So we've got quite a high idle. Just adjust that idle. Right, clutch in. First gear is selected. Didn't even feel like it went into gear, to be honest. Oh, we've let's check the brakes. Oh, brakes are working. That's a good sign. Not very good though. Back brakes actually pretty decent, but she'll go. Should go left or right. Clutch is biting very early as well. Go right. Second gear. We're on our way. Oh. Sounds alright though, doesn't it? The engine, I mean, sounds mechanically good. Bearing in mind this bike has not been ridden since 1986. Let that sink in. And here it is out on the road once again. We've got a speedo as well. We're doing 30 miles an hour. We are rocking and rolling, baby. I'm gonna pull over, just try and lower this idle. Right, we're in neutral. We've got a nice neutral light at least. Idle's gone right down. There we go. There we go. We're making improvements on the go. Oh, it might be a bit low. There we go. That's a bit better, isn't it? Obviously we need to set it up, I suppose, when it's properly warm. Oh, look at those Chinooks. Oh, that's incredible. Hopefully you can see that on the GoPro. They're quite far away there. There's two of them. Oh, What a sight. What a sight. What a joyous first ride this has been so far. Got brand new tyres as well. I feel the front brake is a bit spongy. I wonder if I've still got some air in the system. And I notice a little bit of play in the headstock bearing when I'm on the brake there. There's a little bit of play. I can improve that. Again, the idle's gone high. As the bike's getting like warmer and warmer. But how about this, eh? Indicators are working. We are riding around in traffic. It has not broken down. It's doing 40 miles an hour. And how long has it been just sat there, rotting away? But thanks to myself and my Patron members, I do want to mention also my Patron members, I'm giving this bike away. Yes, I am giving this bike to one of my lucky Patron members. I'm going to put a link on the screen if you want to support my channel, because there's going to be a lot more of this coming up in the future. So yes, thank you to my Patron members for supporting the channel. You are making things like this happen, and I will let you know in the next upload how you will win this bike. Right, let's give it some power. You're coming. Oh yeah. mph, baby. 60 miles per hour. Where are all my haters? Haters, reveal yourself. Let yourself be known in the comment section. Tell me all of the things I've done wrong. Tell me what I haven't learned. Come on, I'm waiting to hear it. Let me know, because I'm on the Super Dream doing 60 miles per hour, mate. Let me know when you've rebuilt a bike, yeah? Oh, water. Indicator on. We're navigating roundabouts, mate. Power up the hill. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful little thing. What a wonderful little machine. Oh, and by the way, the front brake's improving dramatically the more miles we put on the bike. It's starting to bite a lot better. Look, getting some dive on the front forks. It's just getting better and better, isn't it? It's improving every mile we do. I'm just going to pull up in here. Pull up in here somewhere. Double check everything, make sure it's all good. Gearbox is solid as well. Absolutely solid. Neutral, I mean, it goes into neutral so easy. Weird though that the side stand, you've got to go back, you know, to the rear of the bike to reach for it. Right, let's double check we've got no leaks. Look at it. Just look at it. Listen to it. Can't see any leaks, can you? That floor is dry as a bone. You know, I've got to say, I love these Comstar wheels. The fact that this doesn't have a front brake caliper and disc on the right hand side means you can really see that star shaped wheel, and it's just gleaming in the sun. You don't get wheels like that anymore, do you? So it's nice to see. So yeah, definitely no leaks from what I can see. I've turned the bike off because what I want to do is see how it starts again. Oh, on the button, mate. On the button.
pulls away so well. Oh, I'm more than happy. More than happy. Do you know, I feel like I could ride this all day because it's so comfortable. Got rubber foot pegs, the seat's really soft. I mean, it feels very light on the go. Let's see what we're saying with the torque. Right, full throttle when we're doing 30 miles an hour in 6th gear going uphill. We are picking up speed. I mean, this is putting the carbs to a test really, and just seeing how well the bike's functioning overall. 45. Hey, we're going. We're moving. What must people think when they see a young lad, well, call myself young, 37 years of age. I feel younger than I am sometimes. Well, actually, sometimes I feel older when I get out of bed in the morning. But yeah, a 37-year-old riding an old Super Dream, eh? This bike is older than me. This is lovely. I cannot wait to take my girlfriend on the back of this bike either. I'm going to look forward to that. We're going to go for a coffee, so make sure you subscribe if you want to see me and my girlfriend go on a little road trip before, of course, I give this bike away. There's going to be one more outing, a proper outing on this bike. Done 8 miles so far, but I want to cover quite a bit more than that. It'd be a shame not to, eh? So I suppose I'm going to end this upload here. I want to thank you all so very much for watching as always. Look out for future videos. More content, more rebuilds, all yet to come. And this Super Dream will be on another upload in the near future, so be sure to subscribe as I say, and I hope to see you on the next one real soon. Thank you so much for watching. See you later.